My favourite tropes in media have always been revenge stories. They usually fall into two camps, what I call silly revenge and emotional revenge. Silly revenge is often treated as a character quirk, something amusing, a side trait tucked away behind larger arcs and themes. It can be played straight, but more often it's there to add flavour, not weight. But emotional revenge, that's where my fascination lies. It's not a footnote, it's the fire that consumes a character from the inside out. It becomes the spine of their arc. Characters like Tai Lung or Helmut Zemo, and Victim from Alan Becker's Animator vs. Animation series, fit this mold perfectly. Alan Becker is no stranger to stories driven by vengeance. The King from Animation vs. Minecraft is a classic example. His story is steeped in grief and wrath. Victim's arc mirrors this, but in many ways, it hits even harder. We meet Victim right at the beginning of the series. He's the very first animation the Animator ever brings to life, and he suffers for it. Tormented endlessly, treated as little more than a toy to break. Victim's trauma is forged before he even understands the world he's in. When he finally escapes, he discovers something he never had before. Life. Purpose. Happiness. He builds a company, one of the most successful in the entire Outernet, alongside his partner Mitzi. For the first time, he has something to lose. Characters brought to life by the Animator get their powers from their names. The Chosen One gains elemental mastery. The Dark Lord commands fire and unimaginable strength. But Victim? His name grants him nothing. No power, no strength. Just a destiny. A label. He is the victim. The one meant to suffer. The one happiness can't seem to cling to no matter how tightly he holds on. And, as if on cue, during a celebration, the Chosen One and the Dark Lord attack Newgrounds. Countless lives are lost, including Mitzi. From Victim's point of view, they are creations of the Animator, and therefore, just like him, evil. With Mitzi gone, with happiness ripped away once again, the trauma inside him resurfaces, sharper, heavier, impossible to control, and it calcifies into one emotion: revenge. A revenge that grows so large it begins to swallow Victim whole. With the immense resources of his company at his disposal, he starts moving with purpose. Measured, calculated, relentless. Every choice he makes from this point forward pushes him closer to his single goal: to destroy the Animator's life. His mind locks itself into a tunnel, and somewhere inside that tunnel he thinks he sees a light. But there is no light. There never was. Revenge creates tunnels with walls, not escape routes. It leads you forward until you finally collide with the end, and then you realize you've been walking alone the entire time. Victim is heading straight for that wall, and the people around him, mercenaries, soldiers, enablers, only cheer him on. He captures the Chosen One and the Second Coming, removing the greatest threats to his plans. What he doesn't anticipate are the Second Coming's friends. They break in, desperate to stop him, only to fail. Yellow's memories are exposed, sifted through like sand, and through this, Victim discovers the key to bringing the Animator into the Outernet. His plan can finally begin. Using the same method once used to summon the cursor during the Dark Lord fight, Victim renames himself. He becomes Hacker, a name of power, a name with weight, a name that finally lets him shed the fate he carried since the day he was drawn into existence. For the first time, he has the strength he was denied. For the first time, he believes he can make things right, or at least hurt the person responsible for making everything wrong. But revenge is a cycle of violence, of darkness disguised as hope. It promises catharsis, promises closure, promises peace. But it delivers nothing but emptiness. Hacker storms the Animator's PC. He fights with the fury of someone who has spent a lifetime drowning in pain. He uses the same tools, the same weapons, the same tactics that once destroyed him. His trauma guides his every move, shaping him into something unrecognizable. He wins the fight, and with the Animator helpless, Hacker begins deleting everything. Beloved sketches, treasured memories, important files, personal projects, years of a life erased in seconds. The Animator tries to fight back, but Hacker is lost within the intoxicating high of vengeance. The darkness he embraced is euphoric. It floods him, blinds him, convinces him this is what fulfillment feels like, until suddenly, everything goes dark. The Animator has unplugged his PC. Hacker hovers in the silent void of the abandoned desktop. The rush fades, and slowly, painfully, the truth takes shape around him. Mitzi isn't back. He isn't happy. And he has never been more alone. He has finally hit the wall at the end of the tunnel. He curls into himself, swallowed by a familiar ache, loneliness, grief, despair. The realization that after everything he has done, everything he has sacrificed, nothing has changed. And then, clapping. Someone else is here. He looks up, and the Dark Lord stands before him, offering a promise. He can bring Mitzi back, but only if they work together. The wall at the end of the tunnel doesn't break, it collapses, and the Dark Lord is standing on the other side, hand outstretched. In that moment, it becomes clear. Victim, now Hacker, is still exactly what his name declared him to be. The victim of the Animator. The victim of the Chosen One and the Dark Lord. And now, the victim of revenge itself. And that brings us to the end of the story so far. The first half of Victim's arc. The revenge half is complete. What comes next, I believe, will be centered around grief, around manipulation, and around the unbearable weight of longing for what can never truly return. This series remains one of the most compelling I've ever watched, and the fact that almost none of the characters speak a single word is a testament to the skill of Alan Becker and his team. The silence isn't a limitation, it's a strength. It forces emotion into movement, into expression, into action. It proves that dialogue is a tool, not a crutch, and that powerful storytelling doesn't need a single spoken line. Victim is one of my favorite characters in any medium. His arc is brilliantly constructed, heartbreakingly executed, and impossible to look away from. I cannot wait to see how it ends. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more, and if you watched my first video, thank you, and I apologize for the long delay. I've been extremely sick and I lost my voice for a while, which means I couldn't record. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's about the Chosen One and how his role as the main character was subverted in the latest episodes in a way that completely defies expectations. Until next time. He's the very first animation the Animator... That was an insane lightning strike. What the hell? No power... Brother. Yeah, okay. Anyway. No power... Oh my goodness, I can't freaking recall when there's thunder in the background. Brother. Are we done? Are we... Okay.